Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Sumera Kamal. The headlines first. Federal Cabinet in its meeting in Islamabad today discussed overall political and economic situation as well as situation in occupied Kashmir and the line of control. Minister for Kashmir Affairs has urged the international community to help resolve the Kashmir issue for peace and stability in South Asia. In occupied Kashmir, doctors have warned that the grim situation has led to a blatant denial of the right to health care amid unabated curfew and communication blackout imposed since August 5. Interior Minister says the government is committed to ensure effective security and successful completion of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor projects. A 3-day Kumrat festival will begin in district Upper Dir from Saturday. Pakistan and Russia have the second round of joint military consultative committee in Moscow have discussed defense cooperation between the two countries. In Syria, government forces drove away Daesh militants from strategic town of Khan Sheikhoun in Idlib province today. And now the news in detail. The meeting of Federal Cabinet is underway in Islamabad with Prime Minister Imran Khan in the chair. It is discussing overall political and economic situation of the country as well as the situation in occupied Kashmir and the line of control. Minister for Kashmir Affairs and Gilgit-Baltistan Ali Amin Gandapur has urged the international community to help resolve the Kashmir issue for peace and stability in South Asia. In a statement, he said Pakistan has adopted a strong stance on Kashmir's situation and the way the issue has been highlighted internationally has evoked hopes of its resolution. The minister said Indian steps to change demographic composition of the held territory is a glaring example to all the minorities in India that their country has become an extremist Hindu state. Ali Amin Gandapur said Pakistan is a responsible atomic power and has the capability and capacity to respond to any external aggression. Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting Firdaus Ashik Ewan has welcomed US President Donald Trump's reconciliatory role on Kashmir situation and the regional peace. In a series of tweets today, she said the nation is proud of the fact that Prime Minister Imran Khan strongly contested the case of Kashmir in the world. Azad Jammu and Kashmir Prime Minister Raja Farooq Haider has expressed grave concern over the frequent Indian fighting at line of control and urged peace-loving countries of the world to take serious notice of this brutal act. In a statement from Texas, United States today, he strongly condemned unprovoked firing by Indian Army at Tatapani sector of line of control, resulting into martyrdom of 6-year-old child Saddam and 2 elders. Expressing deep grief and sorrow over the killing of innocent Saddam, Prime Minister said that Saddam's sacred blood will not go in waste. AJK Prime Minister said children, women and elderly people at line of control have become the soft targets of Indian Army. They are being targeted through Indian sniper guns every second day. In occupied Kashmir, doctors have warned that the grim situation has led to a blatant denial of the right to health care amid unabated curfew and communication blackout imposed in the territory since August 5. A group of 18 doctors from across India through a letter called for the lifting of the restrictions immediately. The doctors warn of increasing shortages of drugs and problems with travel, including patients not being able to travel for routine care. In occupied Kashmir, people defying curfew and other restrictions took to the streets in Srinagar and other parts of the territory to protest against the Indian occupation and revoking of the special status of Jammu and Kashmir by the Indian government. According to Kashmir Media Service, groups of youth came out of their houses in Srinagar and elsewhere and staged anti-India protests. Indian troops fired bullets, pellets and tear gas shells, injuring scores of protesters. At least 8 people with pellet injuries were admitted to hospitals in Srinagar. In occupied Kashmir, the authorities continue to impose strict curfew across the Kashmir Valley on the 16th consecutive day today to prevent people from holding demonstrations against India's move of abrogating special status to Jammu and Kashmir. The entire occupied territory, particularly the Kashmir, has been turned into a military garrison as Indian troops and police personnel are deployed in every nook and corner. Interior Minister Ejaz Ahmed Shah has expressed the government's commitment to ensure effective security and successful completion of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor projects. He was talking to a Chinese delegation headed by Ambassador of China to Pakistan, Yao Jing, in Islamabad today. They discussed matters pertaining to security of CPAC projects, especially on Gwadar Port and surrounding areas. The minister said modernizing security system will help improve operation of the projects. He said to further strengthen cooperation with China in all aspects of our bilateral relations, the security of economic development is vital. The Chinese ambassador emphasized on increased use of technology in operational matters to ensure efficiency and smooth functioning of the projects. This is Radio Pakistan. President Dr. Arif Alvi says first aid services play a critical role in saving precious human lives, and Pakistan Red Crescent is rendering admirable services in this regard. In a briefing by Pakistan Red Crescent at the Ewan-e-Sadr in Islamabad today, he underscored that PRC, being the leading humanitarian organization of Pakistan, having partnerships with other world organizations, should play the central role in networking with other similar private sector organizations in the country. He said that PRC should also liaison with provincial governments and other related organizations in the provinces for the capacity building of the volunteers and workers, particularly in providing the first aid. Pakistan and Russia at the second round of a joint military consultative committee in Moscow have discussed defense cooperation between the two countries. Pakistani delegation was led by Defense Secretary Ikramul Haq, while Russian side by Deputy Defense Minister Alexander V. Fomin. The two sides exchanged views on regional security besides holding in-depth discussions on exploring and identifying areas of mutual cooperation, including military training, joint exercises, intelligence cooperation, and issues relating to defense industrial cooperation. They agreed to ensure effective follow-up and implementation of the decisions taken during the meeting. Advisor to Prime Minister on Finance and Revenue Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh planted a sapling in the lawn of Ministry of Finance as the part of 10 billion tree tsunami afforestation campaign in Islamabad today. The plantation drive by the Finance Division has been launched as the part of Clean and Green Pakistan Index project through participation of the federal, provincial and local governments. A three-day Kumrat festival will begin in district Upper Dir from Saturday. Presiding over a meeting in Peshawar, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Senior Minister for Tourism Atif Khan directed the concerned authorities to make complete arrangements for holding the festival in a befitting manner. Different programs will be arranged in the festival, including food stalls, music night, and traditional dances to promote tourism in the area. Water level reached 18.50 feet at Firozpur and Ganda Singhwala in River Sutlej today. According to relevant authorities, the flow of the water is increasing at Ganda Singhwala and has reached 47,850 cusics. In Syria, government forces pulled out Daesh militants from the strategic town of Khan Sheikhoun in Idlib province today. The UK-based monitoring group, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, reported it had fallen to government forces. The forces advanced in the area amid intense bombardment and airstrikes. In Afghanistan, at least 4 Taliban militants were killed in a clash with security forces in Tahar province today. A press officer of Afghan Army, Abdul Khalil Khalili, told media, acting on a tip-off, security forces laid an ambush attack to arrest militants' local leader and 3 of his subordinates in surrounding areas of Darqad district. And finally, the weather. Mainly hot and dry weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. To end the news, here are some of the headlines once again. Federal Cabinet in its meeting in Islamabad today discussed overall political and economic situation as well as situation in occupied Kashmir and the line of control. Minister for Kashmir Affairs has urged the international community to help resolve Kashmir issue for peace and stability in South Asia. In occupied Kashmir, doctors have warned that the grim situation has led to a blatant denial of the right to healthcare amid unabated curfew and communication blackout imposed since August 5. In Syria, government forces drove away Daesh militants from strategic town of Khan Sheikhoun in Idlib province today. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk. And also watch live streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/radio, Pakistan News Official.